So I got asked to make a video explaining passport bros, so I'm gonna go over that whole thing. Basically, a bunch of dudes, primarily in the US, were having difficulty with women, having problems getting dates or girlfriends or wives or whatever. Now, this is mostly because they were either not physically attractive or their personality sucked. They also hold really misogynist views on what women's role is in society. They think women are supposed to be subservient to men and are supposed to submit to them and be quiet and give them sex all the time and all that kind of stuff. Which means obviously as women are becoming more empowered, it's getting more and more difficult for them to find women who are willing to fall into that role. And also the women who are willing to fall into that role don't want these guys. So on paper, the idea is that if they go to another country where the culture is different and the women are more subservient in that culture, they can potentially find a wife there and bring them back to the US. And then they can have their own little housewife at home and they'll be good to go. Now that's on paper. What's actually happening for the most part is that men are finding out that things are not going according to that plan. They're discovering that they don't have enough money to be traveling like this, and they're going broke in these other countries. They're finding out that because of things like culture or language barriers, it's very difficult to find a wife in a lot of these countries. And so the best that they can really do is pay these women to have sex with them, which is what a lot of them really wanted to do in the first place. They're finding out that women in other countries also don't like shitty dudes or ugly dudes. And so now you're not hearing as much about them anymore. So yeah, that's basically the gist of it. So the passport bros got a lot of backlash for doing this, but the whole thing's really silly. See, the passport bros think that the reason why they're getting backlash is because women are jealous or worried that they're going to be replaced or something like that, which could not be further from the truth. There's two main reasons why they're getting backlash for this. The first is that these guys would rather leave the country than learn how to be a likable person. It's really sad and embarrassing to live in a country filled with millions of beautiful and eligible women and feel like your best chance at love is to leave the country in search of a wife who does not speak your language fluently. The second is that traveling to other countries in order to exploit the power dynamic that's afforded to you because you have more money or are in a better status in life than they are, that is just in general frowned upon. And this is both with sex tourism or searching for a wife. Traveling to other countries purely to exploit the sex trade there is illegal. But it also gets really dicey when you start factoring things like sex trafficking or the trafficking of minors. But even if you're not doing that and you're just looking for a wife, it's still frowned upon because what you're doing is looking for somebody who is poorer than you, not able to speak the language, and who's going to be forced to be reliant on you if you bring her back to your country. You can do whatever you want with her because she's away from her family, doesn't have a lot of money, and is in a totally different country. The whole thing's just not a good look. But that's the long and short of the passport bros thing.